Yeah.
Kumite,
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 kumite, kumite, kumite, kumite. Hey guys, y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, and I'm back here once again with one of my best friends in the world, known him since forever, the one and only, the legend, Bill Smith.
I can feel
point
it.
it the
I
wrong
can
way.
feel it in your. I can feel it in your soul that it doesn't have the super jazz that you have on your other show. I can feel it through the Zoom on you. Every time you're about to say it, you're like, this doesn't hit the same.
Well, the super jazz thing started because I years ago when we were just doing the DBZ reviews on the channel. Eventually, he decided, he was going to do the rap thing, and he was like, started going by super jazz. And just one day, I was just interrupted him while he was talking. He's like, "Yeah, you can find me on Twitter as super jazz, and then I made it a running gag of interrupting him with it, and it just carried over into whatever we want. But yeah. Anyway, we're back here. We're still here, talking about movies.
Yes, sir. I got it. I gave you a good one this week.
Oh yes.
Let me ask you. Well, my first question would be, how long did it take you to find out that we are now on our third movie in a row based on true events?
The very end, when I saw it come up on the screen.
I've seen this movie 50 times, and I get surprised by that moment every single time. It's like, wait, what?
I saw that, I was like, wait, really? We just kept that going?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't believe this one nearly as much. And I thought Hamilton was exaggerating the situation.
We'll get into it.
Yes, but no, it was Bloodsport, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And you may be asking yourself at home, if you're listening to this, well, Omari is a 30-something-year-old American male. How has he not seen Bloodsport? Well, folks, I asked myself that same question last week when we finished the last podcast.
Yeah. So yeah, about that, why I hadn't seen it. So in all honesty, I had heard the name throughout the years, Bloodsport, and I'm like, that sounds like a cool movie or whatever. And I kept forgetting it had anything to do with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I always knew Jean-Claude was that dude, or had a reputation for it at some time.
Mm-hmm.
But I always saw him more as like Guile from SF2, the movie, which does not have a good reputation, at least that movie, and that's just not a good movie. Street Fighter, the movie, was not a good movie, let's be honest. It's funny now, it's one of those funny to go back and watch it because it's a bad movie. So I just never really I never was like, I need to watch this. But it seemed like something that I would like. I like violence. I like, that kind of stuff. I like a lot of what happens in this movie. But I just never did. And then and every time I hear about it, I'm like, oh yeah. Anyway.
So what were you expecting going into it?
Exactly what I fucking got. I was expecting... All right, so I did take down some notes. Once I was told it was indeed a classic by you last week, and I was like, oh, wait, no, that's legit? Well, for personal reasons or whatever.
Can I preload it a little bit here?
Okay.
So I have a list on my personal Google Drive of 10 movies. These are not the 10 greatest movies of all time. These are the 10 movies in my life, and don't ask me why I built this list. It was a pandemic quarantine moment thing. it is the 10 movies across my life that have had the largest impact on me. Movies that I was obsessed over for a period of time, or movies that changed my point of view, or something like that. And being uh being a young kid who was in martial arts, I took taekwondo classes the majority of my childhood. I was a big Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. And Bloodsport, I didn't know when I built the list originally, months and months ago. Bloodsport and Kickboxer were continually back and forth on the list. Eventually, I settled on Bloodsport. I think both of them are great examples of a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. They are not necessarily academically great films.
Fair.
But
yes,
I think they hold a special place in the
fair.
American movie canon.
Yeah, so yeah, that is fair. Classic in the sense that it meant a lot to you, like you really, really enjoyed the movie is more what I was saying.
And as I said at the beginning of this, folks our age,
yeah,
like this is kind of a staple movie.
Yeah, I can hear you. I everyone that I talked to, like, wait, you just saw it? How old? Yeah, so I get it, but yeah. So once I heard that, I'm like, all right, I just want to see Guile whoop some people's ass. And apparently, that's what I just want to see, and yeah, I was not disappointed. It was very much a product of its time. From the first like chord or note that you hear, it's just all right. I know where I am now. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. You know, on that, there are segments of the internet that have claimed that Guile is based on the real person Frank Dukes.
I could see that. Especially because I remember that was something I typed in my notes before they got deleted. It was, oh, he's a soldier in this movie? Oh, fuck it, this is Guile. I'm just like, he's Guile.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So Bloodsport follows Frank Dukes, American martial artist serving in the military, who decides to leave the army to compete in a martial arts tournament in Hong Kong where fights to the death can occur. He is doing this as a honoring of his martial arts instructor, his master, who once fought in the Kumite, and we are not explained very well if he is on his deathbed. They didn't really make an effort to age him up.
Yeah,
like he kind of looks the same as he did in the
in the very beginning of the backstory. I was like, is this a different act? What?
My God, the kid who plays Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm so sorry. I know you are a real person. You're out there in the world somewhere just trying to live your life. But oh boy,
he had me questioning the acting of everybody. Like when that kid started attacking, I'm like, oh, is this just no good acting in this movie? But then Sensei-san does his monologue about his son that died, and I was like, oh no, he's killing it. All right, so maybe it's just extremely thick accents, and I think it's a mixture of both throughout the movie.
There's something going on there, man. Like, I wonder if they did those kid scenes and then afterwards they were like, wait a minute, he doesn't sound like Jean-Claude Van Damme. We got to get somebody in here to do a pseudo
Jean-Claude Van Damme in person,
Frenchish, European, Americanized kind of accent thing.
I love that he always plays the fucking American-ass American character.
Right. He's always...
But he doesn't hide the accent.
Him and Arnold Schwarzenegger both in this era, like, they are the most American of American men, and none of their movies explain why they have foreign accents, how they are the most built men in their surrounding group of people. Like, we never get a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger is just pumping iron for like, or he's like comes home and he's like, sorry, I'm late, honey. As you know, I had to spend 3 hours at the gym. We never get any of that. But yeah, this is the era of the manliest, most toughest American men are a ballet dancer from, I don't even know where
I don't know.
Jean-Claude
I
Van
have
Damme
no
from.
idea.
It's such a weird accent specific to him. So this movie claims that it is a true story.
Yes.
Frank Dukes is a real person. We can say that with fact.
Yes.
Frank Dukes is a real human being.
Definitely.
Frank Dukes worked on this film. He was actually the fight coordinator and special advisor. Apparently, for the majority of the filming, did not like Jean-Claude Van Damme because he did not think Jean-Claude Van Damme was tough enough to play Frank Dukes. Tried to kick his ass multiple times. Just one of the little side plots of this.
Fair enough.
Frank Dukes claims that he was that he was trained by the CIA to be a secret operative and lethal killing machine, and claims that he went AWOL to fight in a no holds barred, kill or be killed fighting tournament in Hong Kong. And this is that story.
All right. Sure.
Who can dispute him?
Exactly. Sure. For sure, pal.
Everything he claims is also secret.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and secret underground fighting rings. Do Kumates exist? Yes. Is there one where he never lost in 200 matches? Maybe.
This film also has a sneaky supporting role by one Forrest Whitaker, playing the military police, one of the two military police officers tasked with bringing Jean-Claude Van Damme back to the military so he can kill for America.
I'm so confused about that. Like, what are these guys doing? They're just here. Okay, sure. Comic relief, I guess. At least they kept trying. They tried like a different running gag in like each scene. Like the first one, it was he kept cutting him off and just saying the line instead for no reason. And then there was a different running gag for like other ones, and I'm like, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what I can say about this film, other than I love it. I love it. It's goofy. It's dumb. It's awful at times.
Everything that I could say negative, just icing on the cake. Like, it just immediately, like, I think after the opening thing alone, like the montage, because I expected like a fighting thing, but as they were like setting up the arena and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, well, this is an important ass thing that these people are doing with this Kumite. I'm in for some good and then like after the opening, and I'm like, okay, I love this movie. They had the fucking 80s ass montages, and then they had the like stereotype that the stereotypical montage. I'm like, oh my god, it even has one of these. This is fantastic. Fucking the Johnny Cage
split sequence is iconic.
Yeah. I was so happy when he hit him with the Johnny Cage. I'm like, the Johnny Cage. I know that this came out before Johnny Cage, but I'm just putting it together. That's what they were referencing.
Right. If we haven't said it yet, this is a film from 1988.
Yes.
I was 2 years old when this movie came out.
Same.
I don't have enough to say about this movie. I love, like, the from the very beginning, we see older Jean-Claude Van Damme escape from his military showers. Or he uses the showers at, I guess, a military base to escape. Then he goes to his master's home. He walks into his master's home, and out of the corner of his eye, sees a sword. And we are led to believe that that man stares at that sword for a good 25 minutes. The entire flashback sequence, we keep cutting back to him
staring at the sword.
The entire first act almost is a flashback sequence.
Yeah.
It is a good, solid chunk of movie. And the entire part of it, we cut back roughly every 45 seconds to the exact same shot of Jean-Claude Van Damme staring off into space.
Another thing, Ray, the first time, I realized it as he came back later. The very first time you see him during that opening montage where they just randomly insert him, I think I'll go out and get some new scars for my face. I was like, who is this guy? I'm like, who is this guy? I just had to pause and all right, I'm pretty sure I'm going to love this movie.
Yeah, what is that guy's name? Jackson in the movie.
Yeah, Ray Jackson. It's like
Donald Gibb. Donald Gibb, and he plays basically that same thing for a good 10 years there. Like the mid 80s going into the 90s, if you needed a near 7 foot tall biker looking dude, this was your guy. Do you need somebody to crush a beer, slam it on their forehead, and then belch? I can call Donald Gibb.
Fucking American ass dude. It's hilarious. This movie had, and I mean this in the best way, this movie had stereotypes for just about everything. And including the stereotypical ignorant American that is Ray Jackson, who doesn't even know how to, or he knows how to fight, but he doesn't. He's not a martial artist. He just goes in there and brute straights it.
It's ugly. It's ugly. He walks straight forward with his arms down, gets hit, and then just does an ugly, sloppy hammer fist on the dude's face. And then the guy just crumples to the ground.
I'm like, Ray is godlike.
And he almost had Chung-Li.
Yeah.
He could have had Chung-Li for a minute there. That would have been ridiculous.
But of course, being the stereotypical ignorant American, me!
Gotta celebrate too early.
Chong-Li. Chong-Li was that dude too.
Chong-Li,
that
my man.
Was vicious.
Bolo Young. If you've watched martial arts movies in the 80s and the early 90s, you almost for sure have seen this man at some point.
He looked hella familiar.
He held the title for Mr. Hong Kong for 10 years straight.
Jesus.
Because no Chinese individual has ever gotten as big as this dude. Name one.
I don't. I was thinking, I felt like, damn, that must be the life. If you're an Asian dude that's that fucking big, I know you gotta get, jobs and stuff. You know what I mean?
Dude is gigantic, and he is the perfect villain. He's the perfect villain that this movie needs. He's great. Oh, my God. Brick no hit back. When he does crazy, when he quick clenches that headband,
or whatever, he just did when he's being specifically villainous, and he just
or he's doing this move, and his entire pecs are just flexing in and out. Oh my God. Yeah, dude is a beast and a perfect villain in this movie. Chong Li, even the name is just like
Chong,
it's taken a bite out of
that's a
you.
dude that's gonna whoop your ass. I don't want to mess with nobody named Chong Li, especially if he come out it's like second he come out, it's like, oh, that's they told me I was screwed because I was fighting Chong Li, and then I saw your ass, and I get it. Yep, I'm not gonna have a good time.
Yep, the character of Chong Li currently holds at the start of the movie currently holds basically all of the records at the Kumite. Fastest defeat
Knockout, yeah.
or fastest victory. He's the previous Kumite champion. He has killed 2 people in the ring.
I believe it was 2 at the
list.
start of the movie.
Maybe 2, maybe 3. He kills another one in the course of this film.
Mm-hmm.
Just an absolute brutal, like, does it with a temple shot?
I believe.
Like, just a punch right to the temple, I think?
Here's something. I wasn't sure if it was a temple punch
or is the temple
fatality
what he does to Jackson? No, Jackson is a stomp.
Yeah.
He like stomps him like 3 times. And we get
he
that
tries to kill Jackson.
Upward shot of just him just like, oh, such a good villain.
Comes out with the fucking Harley Davidson headband wrapped around his leg. Ha ha ha! I beat your friend.
Did any
the voice
of the...
for him was hilarious, dude. It just made him. I am going to beat you.
Did any of the first round fights stand, or anybody in the lower tier stand out to you?
Random monkey dude. I wasn't sure what that was about. I was like, what the hell is this? Let's see.
It's a 1988 movie. The film takes place in Hong Kong, so obviously we have a whole lot of Asian representation, but the 2 black actors in this film are kind of ridiculous caricatures.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
the fact that nobody in the writing room was like, maybe we don't have one of the 2 black actors doing monkey kung fu style.
Yeah, I was like,
can we get that to somebody else?
Yeah, and I mean, he beat somebody with it, and then I think he lost later. The second I saw Paco's name and I saw he was fighting 2 people, I'm like, this guy's gotta be Paco, and he just looked like. I'm like, oh, he's gonna win, and then sure enough, yeah, Paco knocked that guy.
Which one's Paco? Is that the big Japanese guy?
Dude. I said Hispanic looking, but he did the Muay Thai.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because there's 2 prominent Muay Thai fighters.
Yeah,
and yeah, okay. The like you said, Hispanic looking gentleman.
Yeah.
Went farther.
Yes.
Yeah. That's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he was cool. I was like, "Oh, Paco, get him, Paco!" And just yeah, and I think he later ran into Frank Dukes, and that's why he lost.
Yeah, he either ran into Frank Dukes or Chong Li.
Oh yeah,
I can't recall, but you have the big, what I think is supposed to be their placement of a sumo type dude. Or kind of a judo guy, the really big guy.
Yeah, it was like Street Fighter, in all honesty. I'm pretty sure that's what they got that whole thing from, because it was literally just, hey, here's some representatives from around the world of different fighting styles attached to them. Just here's a ragtag group of stereotypes in a martial arts tournament. Mm-hmm. Which, if Frank Dukes really is Guile's thing, there you go.
It makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, the movie was fantastic, and I like how a lot of the people I thought would be antagonistic wasn't. And I say a lot, there's a lot of characters, but I thought Ray was going to be antagonistic at first, especially when they introduced him on the bus, and he was like a dick to that one girl, hey, blah blah blah. Yeah.
His character introduction is.
I was like, douche really McBaggle over here. And I was like, oh, and then it's immediately friendly, and it's like, oh, no, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's okay. I think it's just that he is so dumb.
Yeah,
he's so dumb that he doesn't even have personal interaction boundaries or anything like that.
What are you doing, Frank? Rip your nuts off. He kept making like goofy faces on some of his lines, like. I'm like, all right, Ray.
Had you seen the brick scene before? Because I feel like that is an iconic moment.
If not the specific scene, tons of references to it. But I'm pretty sure I had seen the bottom one.
Bottom one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then fucking Ray. Watch what I do. Yeah. Only broke the top.
Oh goodness!
I thought the girl was just gonna use him and like expose him like with an art because she's like, I can sneak in. I just want to know, and he's like, I can't let you. Well, we can just have fun tonight, can't we? I'm like, no, she's clearly just gonna use you, man. Next scene, or not. Nah, she's actually just cool. She's like, I'll just find another way.
They're cool. She asks one more time, like, you sure you can't get me into the Kumite?
No, I cannot.
Like, it's probably not for the best.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'll see you when I'm done. And then, of course, he gets the Kumite, and she has procured herself the gentleman that we have already met in a couple other scenes, who kind of seems to be running the betting.
He's either running the betting. Yeah, he's either running the betting or he just keeps betting on Frank Dukes. I wasn't sure what that was because he always came up, hey, Frank, you good today? You good today? I need you good today.
Yeah, Frank Dukes is the man.
Because I can see if especially because Frank Dukes compared to everybody else wasn't necessarily that intimidating looking until it like, I'm jacked. But at first it's just like whatever. I'm pretty sure he made a lot of money on like the first day. Just like I bet on him. Oh, he ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
And then like as he's like, oh no, he can really go. Let's go, Frank. You're gonna make me a lot of money. He can't beat him.
Is it his very first fight that he breaks Chong Li's record?
Yeah. Immediately. So yeah, because Chong Li gets introduced, sets a new record of his own. Yes, me. And then Frank Dukes, like 2 seconds faster or some shit, and it's like, oh shit. And immediately.
What's been your general history with Van Damme? Is this the first movie?
Fully? Probably. Because I saw like 80% of the Street Fighter, the movie. And
right.
And I'm sure I've seen something else with Van Damme in it, if not a Van Damme movie. But yeah, Kickboxer's not one I've seen either. But
yeah, well, because we've done this now, I mean, I wouldn't be doing. Yeah, I wouldn't be.
I know. I'm just saying that is another one. A lot of his stuff that would have him more solidified in my head as like, oh yeah, he's that dude. I hadn't seen like his the quintessential Van Damme films like Bloodsport or Kickboxer or anything or other stuff. Like I said, in my head he was, oh yeah, that's that guy that is real cool, and they got him to play Guile, but it didn't work out. I just remember hearing just the disappointment, and then by the time I saw the movie, I'm like, okay, he's memeably fun, he's memeably bad, or he seems bad. I'll say he probably is doing a good job, but. Yeah, like I said, I am very thankful at this movie. I am sad that all my like standout moments that I had, and there were plenty.
Right, it's hard because there's so many. Because this isn't an Oscar winner. Like you're not just sitting there riveted.
No,
but there are so many standout moments of just little things.
Oh, well, yeah.
We may be fast. We'll jump ahead a little bit because I want to bring these guys up. But on the bit that we normally ask ourselves of what, if any, roles could we play in this film?
Yeah.
I will give you one both of us could do either of these roles. The kid who only has about 30 seconds to run up to the mat, notice that a gold tooth has been knocked out of somebody's mouth, look around, check that it's gold, pocket it, and then wipe the blood smear. That kid makes a meal out of that moment. Oh my God. Like I can only just picture being there on that day, and that's take one. And we just like, all right, we got it. Like, I can't imagine.
It takes the gold to Jose's gold too.
And then I would love to see you be the okay USA.
How about the okay USA guy?
Okay USA.
That guy was hilarious. Well, I once thought about like you and I like as the buddy cops chasing him down.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah.
Because so I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, that would be cool as well.
We do that well, but I don't want to be eating. What is that he's eating? Octopus? Well, no, eel. He's eating eel. And the commander of the local police is like, oh, I'd never eat here.
I thought that was hilarious. Like, oh yeah, one of them hates it, the other one I think trying to like, yeah, I'm trying to ew. Oh, I never eat here. It's gotta feel bad when you like fall
and then
for
he
that
throws it
trip.
to the dog, and we even get a moment of the dog going like and like turning away from it,
like, nah,
like almost looking directly to camera. This movie is goofy at times,
and it wastes a little time. It wastes as little time as possible to get its point across for the plot. It's just nope, point A, point B. Like, yeah, it's like nope,
they set up everything in that flashback sequence, and then we have a couple of dialogue moments where they're explaining like, you know, Frank is in the military, like the first moment with the cops.
Yeah.
We learn, all right, he's in the military and he went AWOL. That's that shower scene that we saw at the very beginning of the movie. Okay, that explains that. And then it literally is just like, I'm in a fighting tournament. Here is 10 minutes of fights. and then that day of fights is over. You're going to see me go back to my hotel, flirt with a girl, and then wake up and do some more fights.
Pretty much. And then now it's the final day. My friend's been hurt. I'm gonna like do a split on the tallest building in the city. And I'm gonna go.
We get a montage at the beginning of the movie in the flashbacks, and then we get the secondary, the montage before the big fight montage, and it is.
Like, oh my god, this is the most live to win till you die.
How deep have you been able to go in the splits in your life?
I have no way of measuring. Not far at all. I've never tried to measure. I will tell you, not the most flexible of individual with the splits. And every time I thought about, like, I think hearing about John Claude, I remember he was the dude that did the splits, and I'm like, so dudes could do splits too. And I heard that, you know, that was more feminine or whatever in the neighborhoods and stuff I grew up in when I was a kid. So I was like, oh, okay, and he's cool? Maybe I will learn how to do this. If he's cool and he's doing this, then I'm like, no.
I mean, that is one of the cool things of Jean-Claude Van Damme, especially when you think about that era. Yeah. We were just talking about, like, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger. You had, before that, I guess a little bit before that, Chuck Norris. You got Steven Seagal running around doing movies. All, like, rugged, tough masculinity. Jean-Claude Van Damme carried all of those things, but also had a very strong feminine
Yeah. Presence.
tone to everything.
Tone.
Yeah. He likes to wear silk shirts and silk clothing, and he likes to dress nicely, and he dances and wiggles his hips and usually shows his butt once or twice a film.
So I
Um,
noticed. I was like, what the
you can't
fuck?
not notice them cheeks, my man. You can't not notice them.
I was like, fair enough. All right.
He almost double dips the underwear just to be like, you saw this, right? He gets him up to about 50%, maybe even three quarters, and then he goes back down to zero and then back up to 100. Just to be like, you got this, right? Did you see that? You see my ass is out down here?
Exactly. It's like, no, make sure you get the whole thing.
Yeah. Like, I want to make sure you don't cut into the, like, I need my butt shot in my movie. That's why the ladies come to see Jean-Claude.
Right? Oh man.
Yeah, I would definitely, now that you've seen Bloodsport and liked it, I would wholly recommend, if you have an evening that you're like, just like tonight, where you're just
Yeah.
looking to have fun with a movie. Kickboxer is so good. Like I said, it's right there with this movie. Time Cop is very good and very bad.
It's called
in
Time
all
Cop.
in all the great ways. It's called Time Cop. It was made in 1994, and the majority of the movie takes place in 1993.
That's pretty.
So it all of those are great. There's one where he plays twins. It's like a separated at birth. One's poor, sweet, and artistic. The other one is rich and a criminal and rough and tough. And they have to come together. It's a good one. There's another one where his co-star is Dennis Rodman.
Oh,
It's also, I think, which one is that? Is that Double Impact? Double Impact might be the twin movie. Double Impact is the twin movie. There's one with Dennis Rodman as well. That's also very
that's
enjoyable.
funny that Double Impact
I would highly
is a thing.
recommend diving through his catalog.
That's funny that Double Impact is a thing, and then he had, I think, Street Fighter 3's second version was called Second Impact. I would be making the fucking John Claude connections earlier. I'm like, oh yeah, they just kept it going. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then when they decided they were going to make a movie, they were just like, all right, well,
We based this off of, we gotta have him be
Yeah.
Guile. It makes too much sense. It
I
makes
used to
too
have
much sense.
I used to have the speech memorized, and I don't remember it.
What, I'm
I
gonna
don't
kick
remember any
Bison's
of it
ass
anymore.
so hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and I'm going to kick at that Bison's ass so hard.
It's gonna feel it.
Yes. Oh goodness.
That speech and Raul Julia's performance just hamming it up the whole time are the best things about that movie. Like I said, it has its good things, but it's not necessarily seen as a good movie. I have to go back and actually watch it again to be like, was it really that bad?
And the person who played Chung Li was really awesome too. What's her, she was in she's in the Boba Fett show. And then she was on ER for a really long time.
No.
Come on, man. Street Fighter movie. This is your territory.
Just mention it. I don't remember.
All right.
I'd rather not guess because the only names I know is that Raul Julia and John.
Oh, it's not it's Ming Na Wen.
I've heard the name. That I would not have. I would have never come to that with any of the guesses I had. But cool, Ming Na Wen. So yeah.
So I I think we've learned through this process that you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, fantastically! You brought the thunder twice now. I brought the
I love how
blunder. You bring the thunder, I bring the blunder.
we've accidentally stayed in this realm of true stories.
Quote
Maybe.
True-ish.
But I also love how diverse these three films have been so far.
Yeah, that also,
really enjoy
it was
that.
like Hamilton, the musical take on the Civil War thing, to Molly's Game, serious, trying to act out, trying to be super serious drama about modern day poker stuff. And then Bloodsport, guy from the 80s, like, back in the 70s, I fought in a martial art tournament in Hong Kong. So yeah, it's great. But yeah, so yeah, final thoughts of that was it was a fantastic movie, and then thank you again. And we got to keep doing this because I am enjoying this process, and I obviously any excuse to talk to you is a good one. So yeah, so obviously, if you guys know, you can find me on other stuff on my channel. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast. New episodes every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central.
Whatever we want.
Yeah.
I'm a listener.
He is a listener. So I've heard. What else? Where else? Oh, you can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. And yeah, Bill, like I know you said you don't have that much of an internet presence. However, is there any? I know last week you shouted out like a couple bands. Any other bands or something you want to shout out?
Oh.
Or anybody in general, I guess. It doesn't have to be a band. Just any shout out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I will shout out. I will do a recommend to anyone who happens to listen to this. If you enjoy funny things, if you enjoy podcasts, I am a huge podcast listener. Most of my day I have an earbud in my ear and a podcast going. And my favorite person on podcasts, the person who makes me laugh the most, is a comedian named Paul F. Tompkins. A lot of people are aware of him. Some people aren't. He is a part of a lot of podcasts, frequent guest on Comedy Bang Bang, a classic podcast. And I would highly recommend seeking him out because I just think, he's one of those folks that I love and is one of my favorite entertainers out there in the world. And I know he has fame, he has celebrity, I'm sure he's doing okay out there in LA, but he's one of those folks where I'm like, why is he not one of the most famous people on earth? Like, because he makes me laugh so much. So yeah, if you happen to be listening to this, go check out some Paul F. Tompkins stuff. He's great.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, I guess that'll be it. We'll see you next week with something else. Hopefully I can bring a good movie this time. Enjoyable experience. But
they're all good movies. They're all good movies.
They're all good movies.
I mean, Molly's Game was not a good movie, but they're all good experiences.
Fair enough. It's fun nonetheless, even when it isn't a good movie. But yeah, thank you guys very much. Have a good one. And yeah, adios.
Bye.
Oh man. All right.